Yeah, we're going to get to the Cavs. We got to start. We weren't going to start with the Cavs, but after last night, we had to make a change. We're starting with them, and it's brought to us by FanDuel. Guys, NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game. You're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, head over to FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all year long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
So, Mike, I think we got to go back to, I don't know when this game was exactly, when they played the Golden State Warriors. Was that like a week and a half ago or something?
It was Saturday and a half ago, 2 Saturdays ago.
So 2 Saturdays ago, almost 2 weeks ago, the Cavs played the Golden State Warriors. Or should I say, what's the name of the Golden State Warriors G League team?
The Santa Cruz Warriors.
They basically played the Santa Cruz Warriors that day, didn't they?
Yeah, there was no Draymond, no Steph, and no Butler.
Right. So they played the Santa Cruz Warriors 12 days ago.
By the way, after beating the Spurs the night before.
What's that?
The Cavs beat the Spurs on Friday.
Right.
Felt good about themselves.
Without Wemby.
Still, Spurs team that
felt
won
good.
9-11.
So they lose to the Santa Cruz Warriors. They have a team meeting.
Man.
Right after that game.
Is this what
in the following days? Not I mean,
not right after.
Is this the Jalen Tyson step up and say something?
Yeah. So they have a team meeting. Guys calling guys out. They have the video
film session. Yep.
And we came on this show and we said, well, I remember Jay saying, like, this next 6 games is a chance to prove it. And then I said, wait a second. They're playing horrible teams for the next 6 games. And then what has happened? Since then, it took them to score. I think they scored like 50 points in the fourth quarter to have to beat Washington, who's either the worst team or second worst team in the NBA. The next game, they went to overtime, lost in overtime, didn't score against Charlotte, one of the worst teams in the NBA. And then last night, did I miss a game?
No.
Last night, they played the Chicago Bulls, who got off to a good start this year. But if you haven't been paying attention, they've been awful.
They lost 8 of 9 entering.
8 of 9, and their only win was over Charlotte by like 2 points. And they got boat raced.
And didn't the Bulls play last night too? The
Bulls play 2 nights in a row?
that was the Cup.
No.
The NBA Cup was that.
Okay.
It was the
they did
NBA
not play
Cup.
2 nights in a row.
And so and by the way, who's one of the very few players who played well last night?
Jalen Tyson.
What was he? 8 of 10.
21 points.
I mean, could somebody explain to me?
He's the second best player.
What is Dean Wade doing on the court? Dean Wade played like 25 minutes. I think he had 2 points and 2 rebounds. What is he doing out there, Mike?
He's there for his defensive efforts. Dean's not the biggest of their
I know he's not, but like, I don't care if you're there for your defensive efforts. Can I get more than 2 points and 2 rebounds in 20-something minutes?
Fair. No, that's very fair.
DeAndre Hunter, is he even interested in playing anymore?
That's a fair. He got benched last night, by the way.
Yeah, he came off the bench.
Kenny Atkinson made his first major lineup change. He put Tyson into the starting lineup officially, moved DeAndre to the bench.
He wants to play.
To get some more energy.
He's the only one.
G, what do you think,
guys?
What do you think of the game? Yeah. We'll let you guys dive in
first and foremost, the thing that I thought I was going to come on here with this Cavs hat. Shut it down, and y'all played like that. I wasted my hat. I could have saved this for 2 or 3 more weeks or something, bro. But I mean, when you watch the Cavs play, the thing that sticks out the most to me, and I know a lot of us talked about the evolution of what we were supposed to see offensively from a lot of these guys, but the thing that is glaring with the Cleveland Cavaliers is the lack of defensive intensity. And the thing that I hate the most about watching them is if you've played any sort of basketball at a level, the lack of the straight line dribbles, like the head of the attack, being a guy that you're sitting down in a defensive stance, and the first guy that they always get the ball, they simply waltz to wherever they want to get to. There's no resistance. They get the ball. How many times do you see one straight line dribble kick 3? Or one straight line dribble layup. One straight line. Guys don't have any sort of ball pressure. They don't sit down in a stance. They give people too many straight line drives. And the thing that really kills them is the fact that they feel like they are good enough offensively where, we don't got to pay attention to that. We good. No, you don't. Yeah. You guys are not good enough offensively or individually where you guys cannot play on the defensive end of the court. And to me, that's the biggest glaring issue. It's the lack of intensity. It's the lack of effort on certain 50-50 balls. It's the fact that they let everybody get to their pet move. And it's almost like they play as if it's a pickup game at the Saturday Rec League. And they feel like, we can turn it on. They're just not that good to be doing that, bro.
In a way, it feels like they said, well, for the last 3 years we've played hard in the regular season, and we've fallen our face in the playoffs. So now let's just play the regular season like we don't even care.
I agree. Completely agree.
And maybe it'll be reversed. Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah, and not only have we spent all summer saying the regular season's irrelevant, we're going to judge this team. Donovan Mitchell, in his postseason exit interview last year, said, we know what we do over the 82 games in the regular season next year isn't going to matter. You guys are only going to care about the playoffs, which I do think we have to keep in perspective.
Yeah, sure.
But through 29 games, and Tyvis, I'm curious what you think, the only thing you have in order to keep yourself from walking off the cliff with this Cavs team is hope. They've given us nothing tangible in 29 games.
Zero.
To hold on to and say, okay, this works. They can build on this. It's getting very frustrating. I'm with everybody, but I also am not ready to sell all my stock because of the fact that, as you just mentioned, Bull, we and they have both acknowledged that the regular season for them, we know they can have success in the regular season, but that's not when it matters.
And we're also, and let's face it, we're lucky because, as usual, the Eastern Conference is terrible. The Western Conference is, maybe the gap's bigger than ever right now. I mean, the East stinks.
The three best teams in basketball, unquestioned, are in the Western Conference right now. Unquestioned.
I'm not buying into the Pistons. I know they've been great. I'll believe it when I see it when it matters. But go ahead, Tyvis. We haven't heard from you on this yet.
I just look at it as, again, the defense is just not there. When I watch these teams play, it's just so many uncontested layups that they gave up yesterday. It was to a point where it looked like a layup line. And yesterday I was sitting there like, man, maybe they do need Evan. Maybe, because when you got them two undersized guards like that, they can't really stop anybody at the cup. So you do need them twin towers down there. And maybe this not having Mobley thing is why everybody is attacking them in the paint, and because it's, you get Jared Allen to step out and now you got nothing there. So Evan needs to get back, but I know he's dealing with the calf strain and you can't rush that back, but it just don't look the same. It started off good. DG came out and hit 3 of the quickest threes I've ever seen in my life. I know because I had a parlay going and he killed that. Hit 3.
He always do that. He always do that.
Came out there. I'm talking about bang, bang, bang. Parlay was dead. Anyways, I don't know what happened to DeAndre Hunter. I don't know what's going on with that situation right there. I don't know if Ty Jerome just made him look that good last year, them two off the bench, but it's not the same with him at all. Jared Allen was actually, he was okay. He was okay. I mean, he only had missed one shot to the third quarter or something like that. So he was actually they did a good job of getting him involved. If you're going to be the center, though, I would love for more than 6 rebounds. I don't know. You like the only big dude out there.
6?
You can't get 10.
He used to at least be a good rebounder.
I know.
12, 10, 12.
He was 14 and 10. Ain't
What's
his
the
career
average
14 and 10 or something?
7 per game.
How much were they out? How much were they out rebounded? I know it was in the 20s, 30s.
Last night,
how many?
They got out rebounded by 3.
Did they got out rebounded by 3?
Only by 3?
Just by 3 last night.
I felt like it looked like they couldn't get a rebound to save their life in the second half. It's just McNuggets, man. It's tough to do this with basketball. In football and baseball, it's a little different sport. In baseball, it's like if you get there, you can roll over and sneak into something because you may get hot, right? In football, it's like football, there's only a 4 to 5 point disparity between really good teams and bad teams. And we saw just like the Miami Dolphins can creep up and beat a team like the Bills and smoke them, and they're about to fire everybody. But in basketball, this is the thing that hits my heart, and it hurts me to say this. In basketball, when you get certain teams locked in and they got certain rosters, you ain't got no shot. You're not winning. You can lie to yourself and tell yourself that, hey, we can be. They have no shot in beating 7-8 teams in the league. As a matter of fact, right now they're in the play-in. Right now, I would tell them they're a play-in team. Right now, the Cavs are playing play-in style basketball. They would be lucky to win a first-round game. And they have no shot of beating Oklahoma City, ever.
Okay, I'll agree with that part, but the other part, as far as anybody else, I give them I know what it looks like right now. I do have to agree off the fact that it's a long regular season. 15 and 13, okay, that's terrible. But for some odd reason, I think as we get closer to the playoffs, like I do believe that they will lock in.
See, that's the hope that they can flip a switch here at some point.
But like I don't want them to like have to overexert themselves to try to make the postseason because now you're risking injury and all of those things.
I mean, the bottom of the East is so bad.
They're going to make the playoffs without having to overexert. Enough teams are going to end up tanking once they realize they're out of it.
Listen, but just make the playoffs, bro,
we'll
and be healthy.
Do we hear how far we've come? Do we hear? Let's be clear. We
said that it didn't matter. The regular season is meaningless.
We talked about the fact that this is an opportunity. This is the most alarming part.
Yeah.
When you have the Boston Celtics who have injuries, when you have the Pacers who have injuries, and you look at the landscape of the East, and you came back whole. They brought the whole thing back, and they added other pieces. For you to be talking about you are a play-in team and you trying to make it through the regular season is unacceptable for a roster that's the most expensive in the league. You got 3 max players. 3.
I'm glad you brought that up.
3 max players. And guess what? Darius Garland is getting 15. That's not – you can't have 15 points and be max players, dog. Right now, Jalen Tyson, by far, is their second best player.
I will say this. This is this should be the last of this core 4 thing. They should when they do the trade, they should move 2 of the 4. That should be non-negotiable. I moved 2 of the 4.
Well, I don't know. It's going to be hard. But by the way, before we get to this thing, the Celtics, with their best player out, have a better record than the Cavs. Better at 15 and 11. I know it's not a significant difference, but still, like. The Cavs have the 9th best record in a bad Eastern Conference at the moment.
They ain't even in the play-in.
And forget the Thunder. If the Cavs play the Knicks, they'll get destroyed.
They'll get destroyed.
Destroyed.
They're not beating the Hawks either.
No,
they're not beating the Hawks.
Wait a minute. Don't we play them on Christmas?
They do play the Knicks on Christmas. It's the first slate's the noon game on Christmas. I want to mention one thing that I got something I did this morning I want to play for you guys real quick. But the Cavs last year shot incredible from beyond the arc. And David Ziller, who covers the league, put it in the best, most tangible terms that I think I can use to describe for the difference in the Cavs last year versus this year. Then it's going to lead to what I want to show you guys. The Cavs shot so well from beyond the arc last year that essentially they were starting games up 3-0. They're shooting so poor from beyond the arc this year. They went from the 3rd most efficient three-point shooting team to the 28th most efficient three-point shooting team. They're starting games down 3-0 this year.
Yeah.
The difference in their average margin of victory, their point differential per game, before last night, I'm not sure what it is after last night, was 6.7 points. There's your 6 points right there. My issue with the Cavs right now, and I'm going to play something for you guys. I want you guys to react to it in a sec, is that when the Cavs aren't making jump shots, you can see it affect and impact their defensive effort, specifically in transition.
Yeah. Wait, Mike, you said their point differential is 2+2. You said 6.
So last year, it was 10. Before last night, it was 4.
Or it's 2.
That's 6. Well, they lost last night by 27, so it went down to 2. This was before last night. The difference was 6.7 points.
We lost by
that's
27
their 3
points.
Yeah.
You know what the Thunder's point differential is, by the way?
It's the best ever. It's the best ever.
You know, you want to take a guess what the Thunder's point differential is?
40.
On the year as a total?
They are 27.
No, it's per game. It's per game. It's like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. 17 points.
Wait, they was beating people.
They're averaging a 17-point win.
So
their average game is a 17-point win.
With the Cavs, when they're not making shots, it has directly impacted their defensive effort and their effort in transition. And last night, you could see it on full display. And, we talked about the numbers with the offensive line yesterday, right? The one thing we can't do with NFL footage is show you guys it. So we can't break down tape. I picked 5 plays from last night's game. Just drew a little thing to show you where they should be, where they're not.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that drives coaches.
Mike, start showing it. I got to scratch my nose. I don't want to do it on the camera.
Drives us all crazy. These are 5 plays from last night's game that show how poor of an effort the Cavs are putting in defensively. The Cavs are 15-14 this season. The main reason they haven't been better is some of their defensive effort. And last night against the Bulls, some of their transition efforts and some of their individual efforts defensively just simply aren't going to cut it. Take a look at this play from Donovan Mitchell. This is the best encapsulation of the Cavs season in one play. Don, an incredible individual effort to score, and literally it's erased in the next 4 seconds because Tre Jones gets a wide-open, uncontested fast break layup down on the other side. So once again, Don gets into the paint, little in-and-out move, absolutely gorgeous shot. All 5 Cavs below the free throw line. Nobody's getting back. Tre Jones here is going to notice that. Check out the nice recognition here from Giddey, who also realizes that. And as soon as the ball is inbounded, he hits Tre Jones for an uncontested layup. That just can't happen. It simply cannot happen. On the next clip, Donovan's going to miss. This time, the Cavs do start to get back. You see Darius, see Donovan, see Dean, see Jarrett. One of the Cavs players already in the backcourt. That's not the issue on this play. The issue is Giddey's coming up the court. Isaac Okoro, who is at the half-court line right now, is behind the entire line of the Cavs defense. All 5 Cavs players are ahead of Isaac Okoro. But look at their eyes. Donovan's eyes on Giddey. Jarrett's eyes on Giddey. Wade's eyes on Giddey. Tyson's eyes are on his man up there. And Darius, I'm not quite sure who Darius is looking at. Which is going to leave a perfect backdoor cutting lane for Isaac Okoro to get behind the defense. Guys, it ain't rocket science. It's about effort, knowing who you got and who you can't. That just can't happen. The Cavs can't give up easy buckets like that when they're shooting as inefficiently from beyond the arc as they've been shooting. It's just a simple slip for Okoro for a wide-open layup. Third clip, same situation. Donovan's going to attack the paint. When he attacks the paint, you can see Jalen Tyson with the offensive rebound. You can see Jared Allen, offensive rebound. So you have 2 guys going to the glass, which leaves DeAndre Hunter as the get-back guy and Darius Garland as the second, even though Garland is kind of floating over to the corner in case Donovan kicked it out. This is mainly on DeAndre Hunter here to get back. What happens, though? Minimal effort. It's now a 2-on-1, and Hunter just fake stabs and allows the Bulls to make a layup. Is that all on Hunter? No, you don't want to give up a silly foul, turn an easy layup into an and one. But, guys, it's the fourth quarter. I understand you're down, but this is the kind of effort that puts you down double digits in the fourth quarter. And it's not just in transition. There have been other defensive lapses throughout the game as well. This is from the third quarter. And Donovan, I'm going to call him out here because despite the fact he's been incredible offensively, has gone through a few lapses defensively as well. This is Donovan. Just keep an eye on Donovan as this play evolves. He has Isaac Okoro, who's in the corner right now. Donovan's eyes, rightfully so, are on Josh Giddey and Coby White, who are on a little small-to-small pick-and-roll action. As this play develops, Donovan is still eyes 100% attached to Giddey, who, by the way, is being guarded by the much smaller Darius Garland, but he has Jalen Tyson in help position already right here. His man is Isaac Okoro, who is going to come uncontested into the paint. Giddey, who's an advanced passer, is going to make the wide-open, easy pass to an uncovered, uncontested Isaac Okoro. It's the last by Donovan. And if you want even more proof, just so you know I'm not calling out Donovan, this is the first play of the second quarter. Bulls are going to run a little action, pass to the wing. You have Vucevic set a back screen. Okoro is going to come around this screen looking for the layup. That is on Donovan, who's guarding the man in the corner, to kind of just step up, make sure that pass isn't available, and recover. When the ball is out here, that's an incredibly difficult pass with a defender in the way to get. Just watch Donovan on this play. Best sets the back screen, easy pass, Okoro, and then boom, Donovan hasn't moved. Claps. My bad. I'm not just raking on Donovan here because everyone's at fault on the Cavs defensively, but it's little plays like that over the course of the game that add up, and that's why the Cavs are 15-14. This kind of effort is simply not acceptable for a team with championship aspirations.
Damn, that was a hell of a breakdown, Mike.
It's effort. A lot of it comes down to effort.
It was a great breakdown by you and a terrible breakdown by the Cavs. I mean, he nailed all those plays, guys. That was pathetic.
What happened to the principles of ball you man? What happened to
you know what happened to it? Adam the Bull.
What'd I do?
It's meaningless.
It's
boring.
They just have.
It's boring. I mean, that's what happened.
That's basic help side. That's basic help side defenses, bro. Like understanding where you are. You know, McNuggets, they do them stupid drills. You used to hate them. You're one pass away. Where are you at?
The shell drill.
I hated that. You're one pass away, 2 passes away. Where are you at? Are you outside? Are you a defender? Oh, you're one
two pass away. Get ready to go up there, steal it with the inside hand, and go finish.
They would stop practice. Ball, you man. You have to be on a string in between the play. And the thing is, when the ball is moving, these guys are standing there. Your position is supposed to move.
Yeah.
The part of the not getting back, that's YMCA. That's YMCA. Look, that's little kid stuff. I don't understand how that even happens in the pros.
I have to admit that apparently, what did you say I said?
You said that Mobley made no impact on defense.
So I was wrong about that. Obviously, he makes an impact. Now, it was in the context of an argument. In the heat of the moment.
I know what you were trying to say. But
that was wrong. In fact, in the last week or so, I've said 3 incredibly stupid things on this show. So I'm going to call myself out.
Call yourself out, then we'll talk about Browns.
I've said 3 incredibly. It's been
wild.
A very poor week for me. Because I pride myself on not saying stupid things, and I've said 3 really stupid things. Number 1, I said Mobley makes no impact on defense. Now I'm still down on Mobley, but obviously he makes an impact on defense. Number 2, the third one's going to get people riled up. By the way, the second one is when I said the Browns were going to beat the Bears.
That was
incredibly.
I didn't even say they were going to.
Now the third one, which really got ignored because we were so apoplectic about the crazy thing Jay said, was I said that when I was forced into a question I didn't really want to answer, and I said that Shedeur Sanders is going to be better than Baker Mayfield, when the odds are that he's probably not. Now, he could be, but the odds to say it now is kind of stupid because Baker has accomplished a level in his career, and most rookies are not necessarily going to pass the test.
I said, nah, man. I said, no, you can't call that out even play 4 games.
So that was crazy. That was wild work. Now, here's the thing. As bad a week as I've had, this is crazy because I'm like
I know what you're going to say.
I'm like a baseball team that went 1-9 in a week, right? Or in a 10-day stretch. But it gets ignored because another team went 0-10. And that was Jay, because as crazy as those 3 things are, here's 3 insane things that Jay said this week. Number 1, that Baker Mayfield was a top 3 quarterback over the last couple of years. There's zero argument for that. At least my Shedeur comment, it's unknown. It's possible Shedeur could be better.
There's no statistical profile to make or deny that case.
He said, what did he say exactly about?
He said over the last 3 years, he is top 3 or top 5.
Then he said top 3, then he changed it to top 5. Either way, first of all, top 3 is beyond absurd, and then top 5 is only slightly less absurd.
Yards, what he didn't have back-to-back 4,500.
You're not the best based on one statistic. I don't even know if he's in. Jay picks one statistic where because Baker was second in touchdown passes over the last 3 years, so that means he's a top 3 quarterback. Judging a guy based on one statistic in football is that's 1/100th of the pie. I mean, it's
like saying a restaurant's good or bad because you had one appetizer off the menu.
Exactly.
So it's crazy because we go on, we talk about the Shedorians, right?
Yeah.
The prom sexuals.
Jay tries to be the voice of reason.
Yeah.
And then you try to be like, hey, listen, you can't be the voice of reason if you're the leader of the Baker Bros.
Right.
That doesn't work.
No.
You can't be like, you need to calm down and pump the brakes, but Baker's the top 3 of all time.
Well, he did say of all time.
But I mean, I was like, huh?
Well, it started because he said Shedeur would have to be a top 3 quarterback. And I said,
all right, so
but that's one of the 3 things he said. The next was that he said the Browns would only be slightly better with Josh Allen, which was crazy. And the third and the most crazy is that he said, I wouldn't draft a quarterback because I need other things. Now, again, if you don't want to draft a quarterback because you think Shedeur's great, okay, I could live with that argument. If you don't want to draft a quarterback because you think all the quarterbacks aren't good, okay, I can hear that argument. But if you're saying you don't draft a quarterback, and the reason is because you need wide receivers and offensive linemen, and you're not good enough now without the quarterback, that's stupid. No team has ever done that in the history of football.
And honorable mention
in the modern history of football.
Honorable mention, he wanted Shedeur Sanders to make a tackle.
Honorable mention, he just wanted him to pretend.
Yeah. He wanted him to look like he was going to make the tackle, but not do it.
And obviously,
shout out to him.
Obviously, rip Jay for these things.
You guys argued all
while
three
it
of
was
those
happening.
points already.
It's not like
so-
we're talking behind his back, but
Yeah. So all right.